All right, we have a season finale on our hands this week. We watched episodes 24 through 28 of season 3 of The Hills. This is the Double Loser podcast. I'm Morg. This is Joe.
Hello.
And we are here to recap for you a fun set of episodes that left me wanting more. Honestly, I thought there'd be more drama in them, but we are here to end a season, which is monumental in and of itself. We have finished season 3 of The Hills.
I cannot believe it. Wow, 28 episodes more. Felt like it was going to be a huge task, but here we are.
I know, but I do appreciate that we started combining sets of 5. We were never going to make it if we gave you 28 of these recaps.
Yeah. Well, and considering every other episode, nothing happens, we needed to combine them.
Oh, exactly. I was going to say that. Can you believe in the opening of season 3, that was the big blowout we saw with Lauren Conrad and Heidi at the club? Like, that was the first episode of You Know What You Did.
That feels like forever ago. That's where your amazing techno screamo song came from.
I know. And I can't believe that was still in season 3. Like, these episodes, 28 episodes too many. And I think, The Hills figured that out because the rest of the seasons are not that long.
Yeah. Morg, where else were we at the beginning of episode 3? Because, okay,
season 3?
Like, it feels like it was forever ago. Like, what has changed?
Yeah. So whenever we started this, it was really after the summer where Heidi and Spencer had spread all the lies about the potential sex tape with Jason Waller that Lauren Conrad would supposedly have, which we find out later was a lie, and that never happened. But at the time, it was being spread, like, even so much so that Lauren Conrad's mom heard about it. So that was like the big blowout fight in episode 1 of them at the club, I guess it was, where they run into each other and yell at each other. But then, like, we have Spencer and Heidi getting engaged. Like, in this season, we have them breaking up in this season. We have the longest barbecue of our life at Brody Jenner's house. Like, it has been, we joke nothing's happened, but a lot went into 28 episodes. So
you're right. We meet Justin Bobby, then we also meet Stephanie. I mean, I guess you're right. Things have changed.
Sean Kingston was involved.
Oh, shout out Sean Kingston. What?
Kim Kardashian came to the housewarming party at Spencer and Heidi's house.
Yeah, so I guess some things have happened. Huh.
So at the end of this episode, we're going to have to crown our King of the Hills for season 3. I think we've known exactly who it should be since it was featured, but we will discuss that. And then we're going to end our episode today talking through our predictions or theories for season 4. Like, where are our peeps going to be? What are they going to be doing? Is Lauren forever intern with Whitney? We will find out. But I'm going to recap real quick these last episodes of season 3, so y'all have context on what we're talking about today. Episode 24. Audrina is flip-flopping. You know what? We don't know if she likes Heidi. We don't know if she wants to not upset Lauren. She's going to lunches with Heidi. She's hanging out with Heidi. And Lauren is doing her best not to care, but still a bit upset. I would say then Whitney is trying to progress in her new job, but really taking it out on this girl, Jessica, in the sense that every time Whitney does something good, her coworker, Jessica, gets demoted in some way.
Poor Jessica.
Spencer shows up at a club that Heidi is at while they are on a relationship vacation. We will go deep with that term.
Love the term. Love it.
Episode 25, Lo is starting to be featured more, which I hate. Can't say I'm a fan. But she is entering their lives a bit more and being in more episodes. Justin Bieber, not Bieber.
Justin
Bobby.
Bieber in my dream.
Sorry, he wasn't on this episode. He was like 10 years old. I don't know how old he was in 2008.
Gosh, that was pre-baby, so he probably was like 10 years old.
I know. He's a youngin'. But Justin Bobby, unfortunately, was of age and at the clubs and
looking like Zorro.
He had a hat on and he might as well have had a mask on as well. Yes, Zorro was his lookalike this episode. And he is really putting the pressure on Audrina. Who knows where her future husband is at this time? The guy from Brisbane. She gets back with Justin Bobby. We are seeing him again. And then, Joe, the girls make a big change in their living situation. Lo steps into Audrina and Elsie's life, and they get a house together.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't seem to be the best situation for Audrina. And they put her in this back house, which I think is really odd, but it definitely puts some distance between the girls. So we're going to go deeper there because, I mean, that would make me turn towards Heidi as well. But, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, yeah. And I mean, did Audrina move out there because she wanted some space? Because maybe she didn't want to hang out with them all the time. But you're right. We'll talk more about that.
Well, I mean, they kind of just handed her the room. So drama.
Oh, she didn't have a choice. Okay, I didn't remember that. Drama is right.
We also get to see a blast from the past of Lauren's. A boy named Steven shows up, smacking his gum. And then we get to see how platonic their relationship is. And of course, they get a puppy. Lo and Lauren get a puppy in this new house without consulting their roommate, Audrina. And Heidi, on the other hand, really wants to make a new statement at work and asks for more responsibility, which if I were Brent, I would not give her, but I am not Brent. So he takes her to Las Vegas. And that is when we see Spencer show up in Vegas, embarrass the hell out of Heidi at work. Don't worry, though. She follows him home like the little puppy dog she is. And that is how we end season 3. You ready to go deep on some of these topics?
I'm ready, Morg.
Okay, I think we're going to start with living situations. As we know and just talked about, the relationship of Heidi and Spencer has gone through a roller coaster this season. They were engaged, fake engaged. I don't really understand. I always questioned it. Y'all have heard that. But now they're on a relationship vacation and they're living in 2 separate places. So Spencer has moved in with Stephanie, his sister, which he's a huge brat at her house, and I honestly would not be welcoming him for long. And Heidi has kept the apartment they were in. I don't know. He still has a key to her house. What are you feeling about these living situations?
Weird. And I feel bad for Stephanie because, as you said, Spencer is a horrible house guest. If you recall from the previous episode Morgan I did, he has a fish tank in there, and I think he even mentions he's going to be getting his ginormous gaming, what do you call that, like
his 2 arcade game systems.
Yeah, and he treats his sister like crap. Like, I don't understand that.
La 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 la, like while she's speaking. La 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 la, I can't hear you. Like that would be like a get out moment for me.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, the Heidi and Spencer living situation is still very odd because I feel like the man has a key to her house and steps in and out, I guess, when he pleases, which wouldn't, if you want a break, would you not be like, I need the key back or something? I don't know. I thought that was very odd.
Okay, but I was also questioning, are they splitting rent? Is he still paying for this? Because, or is Heidi paying for it all? Because I feel like if he were still paying, he might have some rights. But if he's not,
that's a good point.
But I don't know, because that did cross my mind when watching this, was like, is he still paying for this?
Oh my God, you're probably right. He's just, I mean, that would just be bizarre to me, but I could definitely see Heidi not paying for it by herself. But I do remember at one point, Stephanie in earlier episodes telling him to get a job. So does this man have money?
Maybe he has like a trust fund. They all seem like they probably have trust funds. And then Morg, I'm sure whatever, I don't know that we've ever Googled how much they make. I mean, he's definitely making money off the hills, right? Like that's his job.
That's true.
To cause chaos in the hills. That's his job.
He's like, I'm working right now.
He's like, you don't even know, Stephanie. La 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 la. Shut up.
Yes, he is such a brat. La 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 la. I'd be like, you need to leave my house immediately.
Just like that. Yeah, he's the worst. And he's always grinning. Oh, that makes it so much worse.
Yeah, so at one point, as we know, Stephanie and Heidi have become closer as friends. So I guess Heidi still comes over to now Stephanie's house where Spencer is living temporarily. And there was one scene in these episodes, Joe, where she just comes over and doesn't even know if Stephanie's home. And she looks good. Like her makeup is to the nines. Her outfit looks really good. And I was like, you came to see Spencer. Like, don't even try to be like, is Stephanie here?
Mm. Well, and I don't remember this, Morg. Was Spencer there?
Oh, yeah. He's like, Stephanie's not here. He's a huge brat.
Oh, yeah. And then they argued. Okay. I do remember this.
Yeah. And during this conversation, he is like, I'm giving you space. Like he's such a brat. And this is after like they've run into each other at the clubs and she's just like trying to talk to him for a second. Like, I don't know. I don't know. You were about to marry this person, supposedly. Wouldn't you be able to have an adult conversation?
To think only a few episodes ago, she was trying on wedding dresses.
Oh my gosh. That just bizarre.
Huge, huge shift.
How do you come back from that? Well, I don't know. We'll let the Pratts show us because they do.
They do. We know they do. So somehow they do, and they're still together. So it's something there works, Morg.
Ugh.
Well, but Morg, talking about Stephanie's other friend, Lauren, our friend Lauren also changes her living situation. So we've got Lo, who comes to Lauren and wants to live with her, and Lo and Lauren and
Ugh.
Audrina decide to get an apartment together or a house. Gosh. And it's a fancy house, Morg. And like, is it in Hollywood
Yeah.
Hills? It's in like a really nice area.
Oh, yeah, it's in Hollywood. It's, like, very nice. I was like, "What is going on?" They have, like, a garden in their backyard.
They have a pool,
Oh my god. Yeah, what am I thinking? They have a pool.
which again, it's either being paid from out of their trust fund or their Hills paycheck is pretty nice.
Man, Lo can't afford that. She's like a C-list character.
Yeah, but
Trust fund.
Lo's trust fund, baby, for sure. She's got the personality.
Well, and, it is kind of weird because, y the way that's edited these last episodes, it definitely is like a shift in the portrayal of the friendship that Audrina and Lauren supposedly have because, Lo comes in and is like, "Well, what do you think about us living together? Like, we love shopping. Like you and Audrina shop different, so like we should live together." Like, first of all, the proposal of why they should live together is very stupid. We love shopping. Like, shopping is our thing, and Audrina shops for herself. Like, that was literally like her
Well,
proposal.
I mean, yeah, that's so stupid because shopping has absolutely nothing to do with living together. I mean, it'd be one thing if maybe it was like, oh my gosh, we love cooking. Audrina doesn't like cooking. It would be so fun to cook together. Like, that's at least an activity you do at home, but shopping is not.
I know it makes no sense. Y'all can still shop together and not live together.
But was this a metaphor?
Maybe it was. Oh,
More because as we see it, and it felt all very rushed. Like, I don't know over what course of time these episodes take place, but yeah, it's like they talk about living together, then they move in together, and then it's like their relationship completely falls apart, and it's like Audrina is really distant from the other girls. So was that just a metaphor, Morg? Like their shopping thing is like, because Lo and Lauren are like annoyingly doing everything together while Audrina is just banished to the back house.
okay. Yeah. So even before they move into this fancy ass house together, Audrina gets like, I don't know, kind of like blindsided by them already talking about living together. They don't even like really propose it to her at the onset of finding a house. They're like, "Hey, you want to move into this house that we've already found?" kind of thing. And Audrina is just like, I mean, if you want me to live with you, I'll live with you." And it's like this girl just life happens to her, nothing, no opinions.
Like, make a choice, Audrina. You don't have to just let everyone make choices on your behalf. I mean, you should be in charge of your own life. This is concerning.
It it is concerning, but yeah, it's Audrina.
So, yeah. Amen.
Amen. A season 2 callback. Uh, I I feel like Audrina in that moment should have been like, "Well, it sounds like y'all wanna move in together." I don't know, I think I would've backed out. I don't know if you would've, but it was a weird moment.
if I didn't want to live with them, which it seems like she doesn't, and it does already seem like they're doing it without her. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
very clear that it's Lo and Lauren and then Audrina. So if I felt that, then yeah, I probably would be like, no, I'm not going to do this. Like, I'd rather live alone, like, but let's still hang out or whatever. But I don't know because the way their houses are or their house is set up is that it is kind of like Audrina has her own privacy. She basically just lives in another house. It's like they don't really have to do anything together except Lo and Lauren are like obsessed with the fact that Audrina doesn't want to do anything with them.
That's true. I guess the moment I would have been most offended was when they actually go tour the house and then they're like, and this is where you'll live. It's not even like a conversation. It's like you will live in this back house that we don't want to live in. And I was like, I think I would have been like offended. Like, well, I kind of want to live in the main house. Or, I don't know. I kind of would have been like, okay, I can just get my own place.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But in my opinion, I feel like Audrina is the type of person who would almost rather live alone. So I like to think, like, give them the benefit of the doubt and be like, oh, well, Audrina probably like, she doesn't shop like she shops. So let's have her live in this house alone.
Audrina never wants to shop. Let's put her in the small house in the back.
She can not shop with us in this back house. It's perfect.
Well, regardless, they all move in together and the exclusivity just continues. Like, another example is Lo and Lauren go out and get a puppy, which just annoys me on many levels because I don't think they're mature enough to have a dog.
No, and I know that Lauren and Lo were not involved in the Bella situation, but it just feels like, come on, ladies. Like, haven't we learned from watching this previously happen? Like, you don't need a dog. And it's felt so on a whim that I just,
Yeah.
it irritated me.
Yeah, I was like, "What shelter gave these girls this dog?" I'm pissed. They're like, "We saved her."
Yeah, it did make me glad that it was like they adopted a mutt or they adopted a
Yeah.
dog from a shelter because I felt like, okay, although I don't think these girls, they should be promoting like going out and getting a dog on a whim, like, because you need to be responsible to be a dog owner. At least they're promoting not getting like a designer dog or,
Yeah.
yeah, like getting a buying from a breeder.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like, I think I know the answer to this, but of course, you like to research if they keep the dog. So, what was the verdict there? Did they keep this dog?
Morg, yes, because that stressed me out. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what happened to this poor dog?" And Lauren Conrad actually kept it and it died. It died, I guess not that long ago. It died when it was like 8 years old. So it
Oh.
didn't I would have thought that because it turned out to be like a pretty big shepherd, so I would have thought that it would have lived longer, and she doesn't go into why it dies, but I guess she just shared on her Instagram that,
Oh.
the dog had died at, like, 8. So I don't know if the dog something happened to it or if it had yeah, something wrong, so that was sad, but it did make me feel like, "Okay, oh my gosh, okay, Lauren Conrad, like, actually kept this dog and took care of it, forever."
Unlike Heidi, if y'all don't remember Bella, Bella was her dog that her first boyfriend on the show got her. I don't even remember his name. And oh,
Jordan.
Jordan. Spiky Digimon hair, Jordan. And that guy got her dog while their relationship was on the rocks, which is always a good thing to do. And
Mhm.
they gave it away, which is very sad.
Yeah. I wonder if Heidi owns any pets now or if she's just not a pet person.
I don't know. She really wanted that dog. That was like what she wanted for Christmas.
And then she got it and got rid of it. Bella was
Okay, yeah, you're
in
right.
like 4 episodes.
Yeah. And then gone. And we had to do research for y'all to figure out where she went. They gave her to a friend.
Yeah.
But when Lo and Lauren come home with this puppy, though, it's just another like division because again, Audrina's like, y'all just like did this without me. And it's like they even are so explicit to be like, the dog has two mommies. And I was like, not three mommies. That's a little awkward. And they'd already named her. So I just kind of felt bad. It's like, also, why would you get roommates, like a dog with your roommates? Like, who gets to keep the dog? Like, how do you decide that?
Exactly. It felt like it was not thought out at all. And yeah, I mean, it felt very clear that there was a division of like, "Oh, we're really close, like, you're not involved with us." Like, I felt like they were definitely guilty of excluding Audrina a lot. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying she was innocent, like, she did kinda blow them off some, but it did feel like I feel like it would've been awkward to go hang out with them. Love's the worst.
Yeah, it's like I know, I think I wrote in my notes somewhere, like, what is it about this girl that makes me dislike her so much? Because she's not really, like, doing anything besides just being pretentious.
That's enough. Like, I think every time I write notes, I
Yeah.
always say, "I do not like low. I do not like low." But pretentious is
No.
enough, Morg. Like, she's super pretentious. She acts like she's better than everyone, and it's like, "Girl, you suck. Like, you're the worst."
Yeah, she definitely comes off, like, very, high maintenance and rude, and
Yeah.
from what I get shown.
And her hairdos, Morg.
Okay, her hairdos, I know, like, everybody was going through the 2000s, so I can't judge him too hard, but Lo loves, like, bump it hair, and everyone else seemed to have it, like, at least under control, but Lo was
Mhm.
like, "I'm gonna go real big."
Low was, like, next level. Like, I feel like it's the equivalent of when you look at pictures from the '80s and some people
Yeah.
went pretty mild puff sleeves, and then some people went all puff sleeves, all crazy permed out hair. I mean, it feels like she really embraced the hair teasing and teased her hair. It was like
Yes.
she's got, like, 2 heads in there.
She's got a little, like, something hidden in there, so,
Her
like a
brain.
I don't know about a second brain, I don't think she's that smart.
No, I don't either, but she acts like it, but she's
Oh,
not.
know-it-all.
Mhm. She is.
Her know-it-all, that whatever part of her brain makes her know-it-all, that is the part that's enlarged underneath all that
Yes, her
hair.
ego.
Yeah. Also, I think a part of the division is Audrina has started to become closer friends with Heidi again, who originally introduced her to Lauren in the first place, and I feel like I don't know really whose side I'd be on here because Audrina just, like, opens this door back up with Heidi. We heard it a little bit in the last episodes we recapped, and now we see her getting lunch with Heidi in these episodes and whatnot, and Lauren's, like, clearly not happy about it, and so
Mhm.
I was curious from your perspective, whose side are we on? Like, should Lauren really get to have this opinion about Heidi or because she lives with Audrina, be able to say, "You don't get to bring these people over"? I just thought it was a little much on my perspective.
Yeah, I think Audrina should be able to choose who she's friends with. I mean, I think maybe Lauren should be able to, voice her opinion of like, "Hey, like I'm not crazy about this, but like be friends with her, but please I don't want to hear about it or like I don't want her to hear about me." But I don't know cuz that also sounds very controlling. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Lauren should be able to dictate who Audrina is friends with, but I don't know, how would you have handled that?
Yeah, I just don't really like how I keep seeing Lauren kind of, like, punish Audrina when she does something with Heidi, and so I guess if I was Audrina and said more than, "Yeah," as my main word, that I used, I would probably have to be like, "Hey, listen, like, I can make sure you're not home. I can make sure, I plan it on nights you're not gonna be out." Like, I think it's like a mutual respect thing, like, not
Yeah,
and I know they're on a show where they probably get, like, cornered into being in situations where they are together, like, at the club or whatever, but I feel like with Audrina bringing her to the house, it was fine. Like, "Lauren, you weren't home, like, nothing happened," and I don't know, Audrina is not really, like, gonna be one to give details about Lauren's life. The girl can barely give details of her own.
that's true, and as we've seen, Heidi does all the talking. Well, anyone who Audrina's talking to does all the talking, and she offers nothing. She clearly doesn't mind silence, but also, Mark, I feel like it shouldn't bother but I feel like it shouldn't bother Lauren even if Audrina does have someone over because she lives in a completely separate house.
Oh, especially now, yeah, like, when they moved out of the apartment, her Lauren and Lo are just, like, talking about how Justin Bobby's not allowed over or Heidi, and it's like, you don't get to decide that, like, unless, like, somebody has literally done something. I mean, I guess in her case, she does feel like Heidi's done something to her, so that does make it harder, You know, like if I was
Yes.
like, this person stole from me or this person, you know, I'd probably be like, please don't invite them over. But I don't know.
Yeah. I agree. That one's a hard one because it is like Lauren does seem to be really heavy-handed in Audrina's relationships, and I think that is really not her place, but at the same time like she does have a history with Heidi.
Yeah, I feel like maybe then it has to go to like, you just have to own your vulnerability here and you got to tell Audrina it makes you uncomfortable and it's not fair to necessarily ask her, but you are asking her. You know, you just have to like say, like, I don't want to have to do this, but this girl like ruined my reputation and spread this lie about me. And I truly believe that's
Yeah.
what she did. And I really need you not to like bring her into my house.
Yeah.
But alas, these girls never talk to each other because I think all of the division with Audrina could have been resolved if they just like actually were nice people and talked to each other.
Yeah, it was all really weird because Audrina didn't say anything, and then Lauren's very like trying to act like she's cool, but she's clearly not. And she's like, "Oh, you saw Heidi. Oh."
Yeah, it's very awkward. And she's like, "Can I have the other half of this grapefruit?" And she's like, "Sure." It's like one word answers.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by like punishing her.
Yeah, and I totally agree because I think it's like why Audrina felt the need to be almost secretive with Justin Bobby or felt like she needed to be like, I'm going to break up with him, even though she clearly wasn't, is because Lauren was punishing her, just like you said.
Yeah, I think Lauren gets a little bit too controlling over other people's relationships, and I
Yeah.
think she like tries not to, but she like can't help herself almost. Like she's going to be disappointed in you if you're like dating someone she doesn't want you to date. And ultimately that's what ruined her relationship with Heidi too. So I'm like, you got a little bit of a trend here. And I like Elsie, but I'm just like, it's hard not to see this as a pattern.
Yeah. Yeah. Except, although I feel like what really ultimately ended Heidi's relationship with her was the rumor.
Well, duh. Yeah, that was
But
where you don't come back from that. I agree. Oh, I'm
yeah.
not blaming Elsie
But
for
you're
how
right. It was pretty
psychotic
much over
Spencer
before that,
is
anyways.
either. Like, I probably would be like, do not bring this man over. He's smiling so much while he says evil things. Oh, really? Oh, really,
um,
Lauren? We didn't buy
what
you
I'm
flowers. We would never buy
what does he
flowers.
always say? Beyond. It was beyond awesome.
He's a nut. So yeah, I can't justify what they did. I can just say that I'm seeing a pattern with Lauren not being able to mask her dislike for those that she doesn't approve of.
Yeah. No, I definitely that's I would say her big character flaw. It's like you can really see it in her face too, where it's like she's trying not to be like that, but she's like that. It's like controlling.
Yeah, like you always say, her face is so all of her emotions. She can't help it.
She's very expressive, which is I
Expressive.
wonder,
That's it.
is that why MTV has her as like the main character of Laguna Beach and the Hills? Like she does seem to wear her emotions like on her sleeve.
Yeah, I think it does kind of help play up certain things. And you know, they love editing faces. Who knows when she's
Yes.
actually making those faces?
That's true. That would make me want to feel like I got to be careful with my face. Got to just keep it RBF
All the time.
all the time.
Well, we also get to see Audrina a little bit more at her job this time, which we still don't know what this woman's job is. She just hangs out with Chiara, her coworker.
Yeah. And is this when they go to the
Yeah.
studio with this band and Audrina just straight up stands there? Her and Chiara are just like, oh my gosh, that sounds so good.
I know. And
I was like,
when she's telling Lauren about it, her description of what she needs to do is just make everything run smoothly. And so I was like, is your presence making everything run smoothly? I haven't seen you do a single thing.
she does not do anything. Like, I really did not, I couldn't figure out what her job was at all.
And she definitely wants Lauren and Lo to come by and see this band, which I've never heard of, like something like the something trio, the like the band trio or something. And she's like, come be groupies for the day. And I was like, this girl is working, yet she wants her friends to come by, of course. And then when they do, they're like, can you come eat with us? I was like, this girl is working. No one will acknowledge this girl's working because nobody knows what this girl's doing.
Because is she really working? It felt like she was enjoying a free concert.
okay, maybe that was like, that's what I couldn't understand. I was like, are you obligated to stay at this thing and watch this band, or are you just doing it because you think it's cool? Can't be sure.
I could not tell you, Morg. I really could not tell you. I did not, and I also did not see the point of there being Chiara and Audrina there. It felt like if this were to be a job, it is not a two-person
Yeah, and we
job.
know Chiara has it under control.
Yeah, Audrina d- did not need to be there.
No. But and maybe that's why Lo and Lauren are like, "Can you just come get lunch?" And she's like, "No, I have to stay." And then they go to a really cool sushi place for lunch.
It was amazing, but Morg, they were also there for like 5 seconds. Like they went there to see her and then they
Okay,
left
that was rude.
immediately. And that was super rude just since we were talking about this them versus her situation. Like, why go? Like, you might as well have just called and been like, hey, we're going to lunch instead. Have a good time.
Yeah, it was like just to show face. But Joe, isn't that like so, I don't know, higher class, like, I don't know, socialite esque, where it's like, "Oh no, darling, I can't stay long. I just wanted to make sure I came by, supported you." You know, that like was just the vibe I got.
Oh, Morg, you nailed it. I totally agree. That feels very like, ta ta for now. Like, oh, I've got another event to get to. Oh, it's just a sushi lunch.
Yeah, exactly. It totally felt like socialite-esque or something. We're like, "Oh, I'm so busy and popular, I just couldn't possibly stay longer than 5 seconds." But Audrina, I don't even think, like, gauges that there's that realm.
It's hard to say what she gauges and what she doesn't. She will never let on.
I did I did feel bad for her, though, like, she was clearly sad, and, that's when I was like, "Come on, girl, just voice how you're feeling."
Yeah.
And she finally does, and it doesn't go well. And Lauren cries, and I'm confused by Lauren crying. I'm like, "You're the one who's hurting her
Well,
here."
and I thought Lauren was very rude about, like, almost like super on the defense when Audrina's like, "You do that all the time."
Oh, yeah.
And Lauren's like, How did I do that? What did I do? Give me an example?"
Prove it.
Right? She's like demanding an example. And it's like, okay, Lauren, before you immediately jump to like, there's no way I've never done that, why don't you take a quick pause, reflect on your behavior,
Yeah.
and think, was there anything in there that could have been taken as exclusion?
Yeah, she didn't pause for a second. She was so ready to also be like, "Lo never did that. No, that's not what happened." I was like, "Whoa." First of all, I think you gotta recognize your friend has some flaws. She's not nice. And
It's just all flaws.
all all flaws all the time. I've seen her hair. And
Yeah.
then I don't know, it's just like, and it wasn't like Audrina was bad mouthing Lo, because that's like probably when I'd be like, I'm not really interested in like that. But she's not. She's just like, you and Lo like are kind of exclusive. And it's like, she's like, Lo would never do that. That's not why we're getting distance.
And I just found it weird that Lauren couldn't recognize that any of these instances, like, I don't know, showing up for 5 minutes and then being like, we're gonna go get sushi or getting a dog, right? Like, how could she not recognize any of these things were maybe a little
Da
bit
da.
exclusive? I don't know, living in a house and then having her live in a separate house. The list is never ending.
Okay, but on some level here, like, not that you should be allowed in an argument to like demand examples. I think that's actually like very detrimental, because the issue really isn't necessarily like the circumstances where you did something. It's more so like you made somebody feel a certain way. Like, that is the truth. Like, no matter what actually happened or your intentions were, this person feels a certain way. So I just am like, why even be like, give me examples? But on the other side, I was like, Audrina, can you not think of a single example? Like, Joe, we have a list we've just gone through, and this girl can't even like muster an example. She just gets flustered. Is like,
I know
she didn't have a single thing to say. The dog. I was like, come on.
right? Like, that was the perfect example. Yeah, Morg, also very impressed about your arguing skills or your feeling expression skills, because I totally would be like, when did I do that?
I've had to work through these when I've gotten in arguments with people. It's like, that's never going to lead to a better place. Like, my intention was never to hurt you, and I can explain that. But explaining that I didn't hurt you isn't really true. Somehow I did.
Yeah, but yeah. No, you're
And
right.
it
You're right.
sucks.
And I mean, I guess I wouldn't say I'm really like that, but would I maybe throw out an example? Yeah, I'd be like, for example, you did this to me.
Oh, yeah. I think it depends on what mood I'm in. There might be an example thrown out before I go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." Their feelings are hurt.
Uh,
But, I mean, other people besides Audrina are, you know, thriving in their jobs, not seeing bands, but Lauren Conrad is walking that runway or working on that runway.
More
She is on Fashion Week.
doing a job that she wasn't even hired to do.
Well, yeah, and I'm sorry, but it just happens to be where Whitney just got a new job. I'm like, MTV, could you make this any less obvious that y'all are like, we cannot break up the dynamic duo of Whitney and Lauren?
I know. I was like, this is Lauren just like double interning, and she was like, I really thought where this scene was going, where Lauren's just like in there sitting down, and then Kelly Couture or whatever her last name is
Oh, that's it.
comes in and she starts talking. I really thought she was going to look at Lauren and be like, who are you and why are you here? But nobody
No.
ever questions Lauren being there at all. But I
Yeah.
really was hoping that's where MTV was taking it. Like Whitney was going to get in trouble for
Invited her friend.
putting her personal life before her job.
Of course not. Of course not. Kelly Couture is like, we've met before.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, it was so weird. Like, I just don't think that's ever appropriate to at your job bring in a friend for like extra help, Like, well, I'm not paying them. And I also didn't ask you to bring me a volunteer.
Well, but she was there to help. There she was, ready to do it.
And
And Whitney,
they loved her, Morg.
yeah, and they loved her. And this girl gets job offers for doing nothing all the time. I'm just like, what are you talking about? So at the end of this fashion week, Lauren gets a job offer for what? Hanging up Polaroids on a white bulletin board? Yes.
Yes. And let's not forget to mention Whitney gets promoted from being bitch in training to being the bitch, whatever that is.
Oh, yeah. Again, the bosses, we might have a new boss, Kelly Couture, in the picture, but don't worry. She gives the same feedback that Lisa Love would in just a harsher tone with no actual application
Yeah.
around it.
No real substantial feedback.
You're no longer a bitch in training. You're just a bitch. Never. Never like, I really liked what you did today. You got the models out there fast. You got them changed quickly. That's what I needed. And you did it. Nope. No, too bad. I'm just going to say this cool phrase.
Right? It definitely brought on some Blaine vibes of like, how long were you thinking about this and thinking that's going to sound really good on this TV show?
You rise. Given a challenge. You rise.
So do I.
God, I miss him. If y'all don't remember Blaine, like go back and watch season 1 because that's all you get of him.
I know. I miss him.
But Lauren also, in these scenes, whenever they're prepping for the fashion show, Kelly Couture, the boss, has to, expressively say that she's not allowed to show her boobs with the outfit she has to wear for the backstage, working the backstage of the show. And I was like, what's going on there? Why is this woman like worried about that?
Yeah, like what issues has she had with this in the past when she told people to wear all black that everybody's boobs were hanging out? Now she has to be like, no boobs. I mean it, no boobs, no boobies.
maybe in Hollywood people are like, an all black outfit, that's only my bodycon dress. I don't
Which is weird.
I don't know. I feel like Hollywood would be like, oh, a little black dress or something. These girls don't know what to wear to work.
That
Never forget Whitney's cocktail dress.
Oh man,
to a business meeting.
We've seen time and time again, especially that cocktail dress. Like they really don't know what is work attire, what is business casual. It's probably in the handbook nobody's ever seen.
Nobody's ever read the freaking handbook. Well, I would assume in a similar fashion, Heidi has not at her job, which, surprise, surprise, we still see her at Bolt House Productions, which, as Joe has researched in the past, we know she works there minimally. So now it just always makes me angry when I see her at this job because we know it's fake. But they're continuing the storyline.
Yeah. So I guess we'll talk about it, MTV, although we know this is not real. But Heidi more,
Begrudgingly, we'll discuss.
but we will keep it to a minimum because I think this is stupid. But Heidi more goes to Brent because she thinks she needs more responsibilities because she's proven to do nothing. So that clearly is an indicator that she needs to do more, which is really probably going to be more nothing.
More of nothing is right, because he just gives her the opportunity to plop herself on a private jet and fly to Las Vegas to open a casino. Why are we trusting her to do that?
Well, Morg, the whole time she was in Las Vegas, did you like I could not get over every single comment she made was of zero value. It was like, this is beautiful, stunning. Oh my gosh, this is the view. She's like, this is amazing.
Adjectives to describe the environment she's in: amazing, stunning,
That was
beautiful.
all she offered. Like everyone's like, or whoever that one guy was, he was like, and right here, this is gonna be where we have lights to really emphasize or really hit on the building. And she's like, this is just beautiful. Like, really, I felt like she had to have felt out of place. And she's like, good God, I've got to contribute something. I've got it. It's beautiful. I'm gonna say it for the 14th time.
I was thinking, Joe, like, how Las Vegas would it be though if like business is done by just bringing like a pretty girl on your arm and her being a part of the business deal? But that's what she contributes, saying everything you're saying is wonderful.
Morg,
Like, how Las Vegas of them.
you have really just opened my eyes. Like, what if that is a thing?
I mean, why else? Like, come on, tell me that there's any value other than like her being a pretty person being there.
Yes.
And I bet like it's Vegas, like I feel like that's part of the culture. It's like arm candy and like
Right? And she
go get
was
a booth at the club with all these girls sitting in it.
and at one point she was wearing like a metallic skirt and it's like, is this not a business meeting? Heidi, what did we just say about business
It's
casual?
Vegas, baby.
She don't know.
She don't know it. He'd get pissed. This client would be like, "How dare you not show up in club wear to my business meeting?
That's her job.
This is Vegas."
So this would really not surprise me. It's like 10 things to know about Vegas. Number 1, in order to do a proper business transaction, you must bring a hot girl dressed in club wear.
And bonus points if you take her on a private jet first and feed her champagne.
Extra bonus points if she constantly comments on how beautiful it is and appears to have no idea of anything that is actually happening.
Amazing. Amazing.
So beautiful. Wow.
I'm going to start doing that at work when I get like showed projects and stuff. Beautiful. This is amazing.
Can you
Morgan,
please?
can you get that done by tomorrow? Beautiful.
I would, I mean, I feel like you couldn't, but I would love for you to like video this and like share it with us. Like Morg at work, like, this is beautiful. You might get fired,
Amazing.
but it'd be worth it.
I think I would get fired. Illegally
So
recording my
beautiful.
coworker's response to me being a weirdo. Don't worry, it's for the podcast. It's for content.
Oh, you haven't heard it? Oh.
Don't worry, it was worth it.
Oh man. But Morg, whilst this is going on, Heidi's on a business trip. We've got a lot going on in the love realm. You know, everyone's love lives are
Oh, for sure.
hopping, or, you know, I mean, we've got Heidi and Spencer
Kind of shaken up, I
shaken
feel
up.
like.
Thank you. Because
It's like the same but different.
this is the description. The same but different. Really, we've still got a single Lauren going on a couple dates. Justin Bobby is still in the picture, and Heidi and Spencer are having weird arguments that I think are all fake. Nothing changes. The same but different.
Exactly. Same but different. But they're all stirred up
Yeah.
a little bit. So Justin Bobby like arrives at a club one night. Oh, I'm sure it's a huge surprise to all of us that he's at the same club they're filming at for The Hills.
No idea.
And Heidi is there with Lauren Conrad. Whoa, mixing it up. And Justin Bobby plops himself down and seems to be able to reignite a love with Audrina. Like, really, wouldn't you be like, get the hell out of here? Like, do not sit down with me and my friends. No. Audrina couldn't possibly muster that many words. She's just like, hey, I've missed you.
Well, and the decision was made for her, Morg. Justin Bobby decided to sit down. Audrina was like, oh, I guess since he sat down.
It's my life. This is what happens.
Why does this always happen to me?
And then I really like how she goes on a not a date with him, but I guess just a regular date, but not a date.
Right? And I wish she would speak more, because what on earth is a not a date? Like, what is that?
It is Audrina's code word for I don't want to admit my stupidity yet.
I'm definitely going to start dating Justin Bobby again.
But I am fearful to let you know that. So it's not a date. And that is why Audrina could never, like, I guess I'm just like, she doesn't come off as someone who can cut it on a reality TV show. Like, she doesn't have the connivingness. Like, you're gonna get no drama from Audrina. She just like can't even muster drama.
But she seems like she would make such a great pawn for that reason. It's like you could stick her in situations. But you're right. But at the same time, you're right. Like, we've yet to see her like really flare up. It's like she doesn't really do anything, even when maybe she is fighting or whatever.
Things happen.
Things just happen.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Oh my gosh. Remember when she dated Brian? God, this is such a memory lane episode for us.
Who's Brian? Oh my gosh, she did go on a date with Brian. Oh my gosh, that was forever.
Oh, I'm not a model. Not a model Brian. Duh, season 1.
How could I forget? He would never like say he's a model, but I'm a model, but I would never like say it.
Well, and sadly, Audrina's dating life never got better from that. It's only got worse. And one way she described Justin Bobby as like improving is to Lauren. She says he didn't burp once. Like, that was like her expression of him like turning over a new leaf.
I feel like as soon as those words left my mouth, I would be like, clearly this is wrong. Like, this is not who I need to be dating. Like, the fact that I just said that sentence shows me this guy sucks.
He burps in my face while I talk about promotions at my job. Yes, I should not be patting him on the back for one night when he didn't do that.
Oh my God, you didn't burp. That's so cute, babe.
That is adorable.
Well, I was just going to say, Morg, just really on that vein of Audrina, things just happen to her. She really like morphs into him. Did you notice it's like they're out on a date and she's wearing her leather riding jacket?
Oh my God, you're so right. She's in her like biker outfit.
Right? And I'd never seen her in leather until she's with Justin Bobby. And then every time she's with him, she wears like a
reappears in leather
rocker biker babe outfit.
Well, she's got to remind him who she is for him. And that's what it is. It's like a persona that she's embodying for him because the girl has no personality.
Spooky. I'm super curious then to see if Corey comes back into the picture, because we know eventually he will, how she's going to dress with him or how she'll be. Well, she won't be any
she'll
different.
Become an Australian woman.
She's like, oh my God, I like love Vegemine.
Oh my gosh, I really want a kangaroo.
Koalas are like the cutest.
Can't wait.
I think we've already said more than she's ever said.
Yeah, oh, for sure. That's all wrong, but it's good guesses. But Lauren, like you said, still dating around, seeing the single life dating scene, and she has this blast from the past with a guy that I guess went to her high school named Steven, and he's unimpressive.
Ugh, right? I thought he was so dull. I didn't even find him to be that attractive. Like, I didn't see the appeal of Steven.
Yeah, I called him platonic Steven because there was just like, yeah, no attraction even for him to be on the show for me.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the perfect name for him, Morg, because how often did it come up that they were like, oh, we're just like friends, and we were always just like friends.
Yeah, platonic Steven, like, oh, I was just like, does this guy want to date her and he's trying to fill it out by being like, are we just friends? Like, I couldn't tell if he wanted, like, they were like cringing while they said it, like, yeah, we're just friends, right? Like, I was like, do they want to be more than friends, but they want the other one to say it? I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, it just came up a bunch of times that they were friends. Like, "Oh my gosh, my mom always wanted me to date you, but we're just like friends. Oh my gosh, my mom too, but we're just friends."
I know. And all the people in their life seem to really wanna try to get them together, but they really had to double down, like, "That's so high school. That's, like, no
Yeah.
way. Now we can just be friends. Can't we just be friends as adults?" I was like, "Okay, like, sounds like you're trying to convince yourself more than me. Ugh."
Yeah. Yeah, right? I mean, it that whole everything about that felt high school, not just the people speculating or whatever. It was like even the way they talk to each other. It was like, "Oh my gosh, do you remember like you always used to get me home by curfew because we're just like good friends."
Ugh, bizarre. But I'm glad I think that was the end of us seeing him. I don't know what happens to Steven, but I think is gone from the show.
Well, Morg, I Googled Steven and I don't know at what point in if it was in Laguna Beach or if it's in the hills later. I think he dates Kristen
Oh
Cavallari
my god,
at some point.
so platonic Steven gets to not be platonic with someone.
Yes. So uh, maybe she takes the initiative while he's being like, well, we're just like friends. She's like, look, cut the crap. I want you to be my man.
And that's how they make a breakthrough. Wow. Okay, well, a future season is brewing. I can't wait to to see this happen. I was wrong. I guess Steven pops back
Yes.
in.
But again, Morg, I didn't do such thorough research to determine if this happened in Laguna. So if this was a past thing or if it's an upcoming thing.
Oh, well, only time will tell for us.
Also, he's an actor, which
Oh,
shouldn't shock me because he lives in LA. But it was weird to be like, this guy who's in a reality TV show is like an actor now. You know, I'm sure he does like little things on CSI, like he's the dead body.
he's the guy stacking boxes who's like never seen her before.
Hey, man, what's that? Yeah, I'm sure that's his acting parts, but he is listed as an actor.
I'll have to look up what he's been in, and if he's in CSI, I'll die.
We'll definitely have to watch that episode. Or, you know, a similar crime show. There's no shortage
Oh,
of
NCIS, he's got something.
is it yeah, yeah, exactly. He's gotta be in something. I would put money on it.
He's known for some really terrible looking shows, I have to say.
Oh, he was on One Tree Hill. Never heard of any of these. But I feel like the suicide note could be something similar, CSI-esque.
Oh, for sure. And he was apparently in Taylor Swift's White Horse video, like her music video.
Oh, I might have to go watch that.
And looks like Joe, like you were saying, it appears like this might be a murder show. So the suicide note one might be it.
Did You Kill My Mother? There's a murder movie. Whatever. He's in a bunch of junk.
Yeah, things you've never heard of. So your theory seems to be correct. Sorry.
Status unknown. That looks like CIS font.
So we have confirmed that Stephen Colletti was in a movie that used the same font as CSI, which is close enough for us.
We'll take it.
But the last relationship we need to discuss is, of course, our, at the beginning of this season, engaged couple, Spencer and Heidi. What is going on?
Where to start with this one, Morg? I mean, a huge thing that jumped out to me was Heidi is venting to her. Honestly, at this point, I don't know if she's venting to Brett on the plane or if she's venting to her new Elodie
colleague.
Right? Like, I don't know. Elodie 2.0. I'm not sure, but she's like, how can you just like I just love him so much, but I hate him so much too. And it's like, why on earth would you ever consider taking a relationship break or getting back together with someone you hate the equal amount that you love?
Because it's Heidi, Joe, because they mistake like drama for like passion. Remember?
Yes.
What was it that Jordan said one time? I can't help that I'm passionate.
Oh yeah. Anger issues or passion.
But the man was crazy. Anger issues. Yeah. So I really do think that is part of their like problem is that they think like just having a nice quiet Tuesday, something's wrong. Gotta stir things up. Lose
You're
my
so
shit.
right. There's no passion.
Yeah, they're missing like a spark. So then they get crazy and then they're like mad that they did crazy things, but they're also like, but this is us. So I think that is why she like thinks that's perfectly normal to hate someone and love them.
Okay, then I guess that makes a lot more sense.
Did y'all know y'all were gonna have so many like psychological conversations on with this discussion?
You're very good at this, Morg. You could totally be a psychologist, I feel. I'm sure some psychologist somewhere is like, no, she couldn't.
Yeah, she doesn't have any classical training. What the heck are you talking about?
That's so wrong.
And to that, I'd say you are a doctor. You're right, and I'm just dabbling.
It's a hobby.
It's a hobby.
So they take their break, which Spencer coins it as a relationship vacation,
which I love.
Yes, but it makes it sound like it's such a positive thing, you know?
Yeah. And it makes it sound like they are having a temporary open relationship where they get with other people. Like that is what I think of when I hear it.
That is exactly what it sounds like. And maybe that's why Spencer constantly, oh my gosh, like constantly comes to Heidi asking if he's single or not, because he's ready to really go
on vacation.
Full-blown vacation, nudist beach, whatever, like on his relationship vacation.
Naked picnic.
Naked picnic. Another great throwback.
Yeah, like he is on multiple occasions like going up to Heidi at the club being like, "Am I single? Am I single?" It's like, dude, you should know. I don't know how y'all haven't defined this. You should know.
Right.
And you know what? If you can't decide that you're going to wait and not be with other women, then just consider yourself single and like maybe eventually you'll get back together, but like clearly it's not for you right now. Yeah. I don't know.
But every time he asks her, Mork, she does say, she's like, I'm not dating anyone. Like, we're not dating anyone. You know, like she every time she tells him like the exactly same thing, and he's always just like, but am I single? I don't know if I have a girlfriend or not. It's like, you're a moron.
Oh, he's so manipulative. Oh, I wrote again, Joe, gaslighting.
He is a master gaslighter. Y'all, if you don't know what gaslighting is like me, just watch Spencer for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes and you will see the man be crazy because while they're at the club, that was when I wrote down the note about gaslighting. Gotta tell Joe. They are like, Heidi goes out with her girlfriends. Like she was like, I'm trying to, you know, get back with my girlfriends that I all disowned because I was dating a horrible man. Now I'm trying to get back in their good graces, going out with them. And she's out, and of course Spencer shows up to the same club because his crazy sister told him where Heidi was going to be.
So we see she's a little two-faced, not toothpaste, but
toothpaste. We see Spencer show up and immediately buy girls drinks. Like he is doing it on purpose. Like the guy is being a jerk. Like these are all signs of someone who's like a psycho, who then when Heidi approaches him is like, what did I do? Like that is gaslighting. It's like, okay, you came into a club that I was at, you knew I was here, you bought other girls drinks to make me jealous, and then him being like, you go to the club, you're allowed to go to the club, and she's like, I'm not doing what you do. That's all gaslighting, because he's like, oh, I'm gonna turn this around and make you feel guilty.
Yeah, that's textbook definition right there. Or more. Also, though, what pushed her over the edge, it's like we're watching her watch them, and it's when he buys the shots is when things really
get escalated.
She loses it. She can't handle him buying shots. Like she could handle him talking to girls, flirting with the girls, but buying of the shots was no. It was done.
That was true. She was like, did he just buy them shots? I will kill somebody. And I was like, whoa. These girls have no idea who you are. She's like, I will get those girls. I was like, these girls didn't do anything. Like, this is all Spencer.
Right? Which was frustrating to watch because it's another example of when these girls like go after the other girl when really the boy, you know, I mean, this is exactly what happened with the Justin Bobby thing, and Audrina went after the girl and it was like, freaking Justin Bobby caused this, just like here, Spencer caused this, yet we're just like, I will kill those girls who have no idea this man has a girlfriend. Those girls,
how dare they accept shots freely given?
Yeah.
And she's like, did they touch you? That was another question where I was like, what?
Also,
yes, they were clearly like really close to each other. Not like anything weird, but it was just like, yeah, they're like touching his arm, whatever. And I'm like, then they walk by Heidi and she's like visibly like really rude to them and they like are rude back to her. And I was like, do you not see that this man is the problem here?
Yeah. Honestly, and this whole scene work brought back like gave me deja vu of the naked picnic thing. Like it just felt like we were right back there
Oh,
where it
yeah.
was like they have a huge blow up about Spencer flirting with girls. Like he has not changed.
No. But yet he wants to get married and he wants to know if he has a girlfriend. He can't figure it out.
The real question of the finale.
Well, yeah, and then like the season ends, y'all, with this big drama between the two of them, and he flies to Las Vegas while Heidi is saying things like, "That's beautiful and that's amazing" in client meetings, and he interrupts a client meeting. If my theory is correct and these men want a beautiful girl at their client meeting, the last thing they want is a beautiful man at their client meeting, swooping the girl up. But he does.
A crazy one at
A
that.
crazy one. He finds out where she is. Again, this is straight too on Stephanie calling Heidi and being like, "Where are you right now?" "Oh, I'm at the Palazzo." And flying out to Vegas with her brother to like do this like, hunt of Heidi. I found it bizarre.
Yeah, it felt inappropriate. Like she couldn't go there for her job. I mean, it was stupid. And then so Heidi goes off with Spencer. They have their like discussion. It still feels like they're really mad at each other. He still doesn't know if he has a girlfriend. Yet in the final scene or whatever, they're going home together. And it felt like
She ghosts Brent. I would fire her.
she ghosted Brent. And it was like, how hard would it have been to be like, hey, Brent, I'm leaving with my boyfriend? Not hard.
I've reconciled and I can't do this job as arm candy. Goodbye. I'm not qualified to do any of the business dealings, and I realize why I'm here.
I realized I'm in over my head. I cannot contribute anything. You guys just wanted a hot girl. I'm not sure I can be that hot girl
Yeah,
for
I
you.
mean, that would have been a perfectly fine message to send to Brent. And based on their relationship, he's heard weirder things about her fighting with her boyfriend. So I just don't see why she would not let her boss know, like, I'm leaving and I'm not showing up to this client meeting so you don't look stupid. But of course, off she goes.
Off she goes and she lets Spencer back into her home. Didn't see that coming.
Whoa, it's not like we know they get married.
You're right. Maybe this was totally different vibes in real time.
I know. It's a little unfair because we have to deal with the fact that we can Google everything about these people. But Joe, as our final question of our episode today, recapping season 3, what do you think all this brings for season 4? What's one theory you have going into season 4?
My one theory for season 4, I feel like I think Stephanie's going to be a bigger player next season. Like I feel like we just got introduced to Stephanie. I think Stephanie might be a real like she might be stirring the pot. Yeah, like so I'm thinking
Firecracker.
she could really become a villain next
Oh,
or
yeah. Like a one-upper to Spencer, like both of them wanting screen time. I'm telling you, they're monsters.
yeah, so I'm thinking, she's going to be real close to Lauren but also really close to Heidi and Spencer and she's just going to like play them all. What do you
Oh,
think?
I could definitely see that. My theory was that Audrina's gonna move out and that be some drama, but still not engage because
Mm.
she just I mean, I feel like the producers are like trying so hard to get like a storyline with her and they just can't. And so I do think she's gonna move out of this house where she doesn't feel welcome, which more power to her. And
Yeah.
I also think that we might get some new characters. Like I do think that at this point, like my theory, just knowing the hills, I think we're gonna get some new characters in this next season. Like maybe no more Brody or less Brody and more dudes for Lauren or something. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking.
Well, and what about Justin Bobby? Do you think he'll be out of the picture next season?
No, I think he's gonna be present
Okay, that's kind of
at least for a little bit. I think we get another blowout.
okay.
That I mean, I'm hoping we get another blowout. I'm hoping we get another kissy kissy at the bar and a fight.
As am I. What about Steven? Do you think Steven will come back?
Chomping his gum.
Ugh. On his shift to Chili's, heading to Chili's in his black button down. He must be working with Jason.
Too bad we're just friends. I hope not, but I guess if Kristen Cavallari gets introduced soon, then we do.
Work. Also, was this the season we saw Jason? Like, do you think Jason will be back and be married? And like, do you think he will show up at all?
No, unfortunately I think he's unwell during these years. Like,
yes,
the guy was going through some stuff, obviously, and married somebody very spontaneously. I think he goes to rehab and actually lives a sober life now, which is great for him.
Yeah.
But I think he was going through those things these years while The Hills were being filmed. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Jason.
Okay, interesting. Looking.
What do you think? Or like cameo?
Cameo? It was like such a surprise. Like we've really seen him every season at this point. So I just wonder if like maybe we do like a quick check-in, like, oh, my relationship with Tatiana didn't work out.
Katya.
But now I'm actually, but you're right. I mean, it would make the most sense if he just completely disappeared because it can't be healthy to be doing this show.
Yeah. I love that you just called her Tatiana as well. And her name is Katya.
What was it? It was a Rush. She was Russian, right?
Katya? Yeah.
Something
Katya
like that.
Something.
Oh,
yeah,
close.
Was close.
Close enough, Morg. Also, speaking of getting names wrong, we definitely were saying Kelly Couture, and I looked and it's Kelly Cutrone. So I like Kelly Couture better. I hope she changed her name to that if she's working in fashion.
Yeah, I like I'm going to keep calling her Kelly Couture. This is our podcast. You can't be called what you want to be called.
I am too. I like that.
Be called by your real name, Adriana. Stop dating Justin Bobby, Audrina.
Oh. Well, yeah, Adriana. These names are tricky. There's so many people to keep track of now. Morg. And lastly, before I asked you our last question, what about Whitney? Do you think we'll see Whitney or do you think she's officially gone?
Oh, I think we get to see Whitney still. Even if Lauren doesn't take this job with Kelly Couture. I think we'll still see visits with Whitney. Like maybe Whitney was trying to like break off to live her own life a little bit, but she also seems still very dependent on Lauren, and so I think we'll see her a bit, even if it's just lunches.
Okay. Yeah, little stuff to catch up. Really? And lastly, Morg. Who are we going to crown as this season's King of the Hills?
Well, as you know, Joe, or as our listeners, maybe they don't know, we keep at the top of our document where we, prep all of our episodes, the King of the Hills from the season that we're on. And it never changed this season. Like, and it was in episode 5. Like, it was early that we met our King of the Hills. And this just goes to show the King of the Hills can be anyone or anything. Because for us, should I do a drum roll? It was the butt cracks of episode 5.
Gosh, yes.
Do you agree? Like, I mean, we never changed it.
It was the butt cracks. I mean, we saw several butt cracks, like 3 or 4 butt cracks. It was a lot of butt crack and
the season of butt
understandable.
cracks.
This was the season of, this time period was the season of low-rise jeans. So it makes sense. The two go hand in hand. They're like peanut butter and jelly.
Yes. And I mean, we talked about it when we recapped episode 5. Like that butt crack rode into the sunset. Like it was featured. So it wasn't just like a little moment. Like it had a whole scene.
I've never seen a butt crack look so majestic. How could we not crown this butt crack?
So there we are, crowning our King of the Hills. And you might be mad that it wasn't a true actual character, but honestly, I can't apologize for this.
No, and let's face it, who was the runner up? It was Lo's hair.
The bump it that is in Lo's hair.
No person was in the running this season.
No, they weren't doing good things.
No, but so another great season done and gone, Morg. We're going to be starting season 4 soon, but since we are officially halfway through this show, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a break next week. So we will be reposting our season 1, episode 1 episode if you want to give that a re-listen. If not, we will see you here in 2 weeks. We are the Double Loser Podcast. Everybody have a great week. See you soon.
Yes, we will.
Have a fantastic relationship vacation.
Everybody take your relationship vacation.
We will take a relationship vacation from you.